Hey Trisha, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? It's so nice to see you after a long time.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate your time to educate, our students on how to become a lawyer in America, how to pursue a law, major or a law profile in US. So
Yeah.
that's really, really nice of you to take some time here and educate us. I always like to ask my, guest that tell us something about you which most people don't know.
So, can it be funny or something like that?
Yeah, anything you like to share.
So, when I came to US, everybody was like, "Haven't you gone to Costco? Haven't you gone to Costco?" So I'm in love with Costco now. So
Oh,
just giving preference. Costco is a wholesale supermarket where you just go and get lost because you get free samples and really good food and really good groceries. So that is my favorite place. So yes.
moving on, tell us a little bit about you, Trisha. Like, I want to know about your background. So, definitely you came for your master's to US, right?
Yep.
So what happened before that? In like maybe just 2 to 3 minutes, if you can tell us your background in India, if you worked in India or not, and what made you come to US. So can you give
Yep.
us a brief background about that?
So first of all, if I start with, I am Trisha, and I did my bachelor's in law, which is BLLB. It is a 5 years course in India. I did it from Army Institute of Law, and it I graduated in 2020, and I got into a company called HDFC General Insurance Company as a legal manager. I
Okay.
worked there for 2 years, and I specialized in third party claims and litigation as a team manager.
Mm,
And after that, I thought, like, after 2 years, when I was in my cube, when I saw one of my senior going to United Kingdoms to do her LLM.
mhm.
That was the time when I started doing my research, and I was like, why not an LLM? Because I
Understood.
have done my BLLB, I got my bar license in India, and now I want to do an LLM after two
Mhm.
years of work experience. And I after that I applied in a lot of colleges in USA,
Mm,
and my first priority was always United States, and I wanted to come to United States to pursue my higher studies.
okay.
So therefore I applied to a lot of colleges here, and I got into Boston University School of Law. I got an LLM scholar awardee with a 75% scholarship to cover my expenses.
Nice.
And apart from that, I got a part-time job here to cover the other expenses which I had to go through.
Mm.
And I graduated in January 2023. I was a spring intake student, and now I am working in a bank as a commercial document specialist in United States.
Wow. So if I were to summarize what you just said, so you did your undergrad in India, 5 years, you
Yeah.
worked for 2 years, then you came to US, you worked for a year, and then you graduate. So your degree was only 1 year program.
Yes. So my degree was a 9 months program. If I
Okay.
just remove the 3 month summer,
Hmm.
so it's just a 9 months. LLM is 9 months.
Okay.
You can start in spring. You can start in fall. You will get either of the options which is available with the university. Most of the LLM degrees, which are with the specialization like I did, like IP law or like banking and finance or any general corporate specialization, those have both the intakes. For example, the fall intake and the spring intake. But if you
Mhm.
want like an LLM, like in general American law or anything, they have they have specifically like a very small kind of accommodation, which would be like in fall semester. Mostly they are fall. What I have seen through it, it's a fall. And then after that, I am right now working on my OPT. It's been just 5 months being in my
Okay.
OPT. Yeah.
Okay. So this is where I wanna ask you a couple of questions. So there is LLM, which is like it's a master's in LLM. Then that what it's called? What is the degree called?
So it is called as Masters of Law. It's called
Okay,
as
Masters
Masters
of
of Law LLM. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got it. Okay, so it's abbreviated as LLM. So then that means so you have Masters of Law and you get 1 year of OPT or 3 years. Is it a STEM or a non-STEM program?
It's a non-STEM program, and you just get 1 year of OPT.
I see. Okay, so that's the good thing is it's only 1 year. The bad thing is the only 1 year OPT you get. So I think
Yeah.
it's interesting. So now, I'm going to keep this right here. And I also want to talk about, how to become a lawyer in America also, because, a lot of the
Yeah.
audiences wants to know, because, they're pursuing something in India and they want to like, they watch the shows like Suits and stuff like that. And they're like thrilled by it. They're like, I want to become that. And, there are two categories of people who are highly paid in America. One of them are doctors and another one is lawyers, because they
Lawyers.
are highly trained. Whenever you're highly trained, and it's there is a cap on how many people
Yeah.
can become that, because the exams and certifications are so tough. So, you always end up making a significant amount of income, like law degrees are so expensive, you end up getting so much in debt. And once you
Yeah.
become an attorney, you can make significant amount of income. So, keeping the masters of law here, I want to talk a little bit about how do you become a lawyer. So let's say I have
Okay.
an undergrad in India. How do I come to US? What are the steps I have to do to become a lawyer who is practicing in America? Can you tell us about this?
Yes, I can go step by step,
Yeah.
and I'll be very clear with this. It is step one, step two, step three, and give you all the steps.
Yes.
Step
Perfect.
one. So step one would be finalize which country you want to
Hmm.
apply for.
So let's
Because
talk about
getting
US here. We only
okay.
want to talk about US at this point. Yeah.
So yes, for becoming a lawyer in US, there are a lot of steps.
Hmm.
It's like if you want to become a licensed lawyer, you have to make your mind fixed before you come here,
Hmm.
because it is not that easy what it sounds like. It
Hmm.
is absolutely not easy. I when I was going through this phase of choosing whether to become a licensed attorney slash a non-licensed attorney in US,
Hmm.
I made my choice before like coming here, before a year when I was coming here.
Hmm.
You have to be that clear. I would really reach out to this audience that you have to be clear. You cannot come here and just suddenly, because your batchmates are doing it, you want to give a bar. No, don't do that. Make yourself very clear from very beginning that okay, I am going to US. I want to become a licensed lawyer, and these are the steps I want to follow. I
Hmm.
want to become a non-licensed lawyer, and these are the steps I want to follow. You
Got
have
it.
to be very clear because it's a lot of investment of money, time, and dedication which you're putting in. So
Understood.
this is how difficult it is. If I have to compare, if I have to make it more easy for the audience in India to understand how much difficult the level is of the bar in US, it's just equivalent to cracking an exam of UPSC or an IAS.
Wow.
Understand? Yes. So it is difficult. So step one, you choose a university where you want to pursue a general LLM.
Hmm.
For example, LLM in American law.
Okay.
You don't go for a specialization in this case. If
Hmm.
you want to crack a bar exam, you have to choose that particular state. Do you want to do a state bar exam? Do you want to crack the New York bar exam? New York bar exam. It's similar in India. So I cracked my state bar as well, like the Uttar Pradesh state bar. I got the license from there as well, and I got an all India bar. I cracked the all India bar exam as well, which is conducted in New Delhi. So it is just same like here. So you give a state bar. For example, I stay in Boston, so it's Mass law. So you crack a a state bar, and then you go for a New York state bar. You can choose either of them.
Got
Either you go for a state bar or a national bar. But most of the immigrants and most of the international licensed lawyer, they go for the New York Bar Council.
it.
So
Okay.
this is how it happens. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So now I want to take a step back. Let's talk to me as if, I'm a, let's say fifth grade person who is coming into it, because I'll be honest with you, I have very little information about, what really it takes to become a lawyer. Like, for example, you mentioned
Yeah.
UPSC level difficulty. I did not know that. I only spoke to one human being and he cracked it on his first attempt. So I was like, okay, all right. And he was a normal dude, but I did not know how much effort he had put in now that I look up to it. So, here's the thing. Okay. So let's say I do my master's. So how long is this master's? Is it 1 year or 3 years? Because
So So, okay, I don't want to cut you. You want to finish the question, and then I'm going to start with the answer
Yeah,
because it's
so
going to be too long.
no, that's fine. So maybe I can keep asking you questions and then, you can
Yeah,
answer them like that.
yeah,
So can
yeah,
you tell
sure.
me how long is like the degree? Is it 1 year or 3 years long?
So, Masters of Law is a 1 year course, which is I'm deducting the 3 month summer in this because
That's fine. Yeah.
there is no class. So it's a 9 months course. A lot of students choose to defer their semester. Like for example, in my case, there were 6 subjects, 2 credits per semester. So there were people who wanted to crack bar. They got few of the subjects in the next semester.
Hmm.
So they gave themselves a little more time. So this is also something which I want to talk later on, how you can prepare for bar even though you have a 9 months course. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you don't, so because like the JD law and stuff like that, I had studied, it said like you need a 3-year degree and stuff like that. So you don't need that then? So is that what you're saying? You just have to do a
So
1-year
it's
degree and take the bar?
so it's a choice. If
Huh.
you want to do investment more than 2 CR, I'm just talking about INR, okay?
Hmm.
If you want to do like an investment of 2 CR and you are mentally prepared for it, then you should go for 3 years JD, 3 years JD plus 1 year LLM.
Okay.
So every university does not offer this. BU offered it.
Boston
It had
University.
1 year, yeah. Boston University offered 1 year LLM, or you can do a 3-year JD plus 1 year LLM. So
Okay,
this is how it is.
got
Yeah.
it. So
Yes.
here's a question for you. So you said there's a 1-year LLM and then you can take the bar or you can take it during school. And then
Yep.
second is a 3-year plus 1 year, and then you said bar. So what's the difference between that? What is the difference between a 1 year and a 3-year? And why people are doing 3-year if they can just do a 1-year thing?
So in a 1 year, you don't get much time to prepare. I'll tell you honestly, because you are from a Commonwealth country and US has different set of laws. It might
Mhm.
be a little similar, but not that similar.
Mm,
Constitution, you have to go through again constitutional law, criminal law, civil procedural law, all the basic laws, which you do for your Indian bar exam as well.
mm,
You have to study them again. And I would say 9 months is not enough.
mm,
9 months is absolutely not enough. You need more dedication for it. Also, here I would also like to make a point here that when you're going for a bar exam, you're competing with people who are already doing who just graduated from their JD degree. I
mm,
mean, like people who have been doing JD from last 5 years. So you're competing with them as well.
mm.
So this is how it is. They are more prepared. They know what are they doing. So when it comes to an international licensed lawyer, it becomes difficult because I have seen my friend, and personally I have seen my batchmate actually. He was an LLM in banking and finance, and he was doing some kind of he got convinced by other people that, oh, I also want to do a bar. There's also a thing here
Mm.
that when somebody says, oh, I want to do bar, the other person also says, oh, I want to do a bar.
Very
Because
true, very true.
yeah, because it looks very shiny, but it is not that shiny. It needs a lot of hard work. Please understand this thing that it requires a lot of hard work.
Mm.
And once you get into the loop of, you know, getting studying bar, and if you have done LLM in American law, you cannot go into corporate side.
Mm.
Your option for becoming like for example, my job post like commercial document specialist, you can't get it. You can't get it. It becomes very limited. Either you join an immigration firm, or you join an IP firm, or like any kind of firm, and you have to find sponsorship after that.
Mm.
So it is difficult if you don't crack the bar in a year.
Okay, so here is a question I have for you, Trisha. So let's say, bar just seems like really difficult, right? So let's say becoming an attorney is just really, really difficult. But here is what if I did what you are doing. So let's say I come to US, I do my 9-month course, right? And I pray to and hope to God that my H1B gets picked up. So let's say 1-year course, you're doing that. And then you're getting onto OPT for a year. Now you have 1 year of time. So I continue to get into the job which you are, like banking, finance, maybe immigration or something
Yeah.
like that. And I continue doing this. But what if, instead of like in my evenings and weekends, instead of like going out and like enjoying, I take that time and I study towards bar. what do you think if I do that for a year? And let's say, this is, I'm talking about somebody who's really, really ambitious, they really want
Yep.
this in their life. I'm not talking, let's be honest, this is for people who really want to become an attorney. They are passionate about it. It's not just like,
Yeah.
this thing. So this is where I'm only talking about becoming a lawyer. What you're doing right now, I want to talk about it later as well. So what is the path for them? So once they do that bar, let's say after a year, he does crack that bar. What are the options for him now? Where does life takes him?
So if you crack a bar, for example, when you came to US, so before coming to US, you were very clear, you were ambitious, you were determined, and you know that in a year I will be able to crack US bar exam. So you start from the day one. Like for example, my university, Boston University, provides a lot of what do you call it over here is prep
Prep courses,
coachings.
yeah.
Yeah, prep courses. You join one of those like Barbary or the other ones. Barbary is another one which helps you giving books and questions. It
Mm,
basically it's like an organization which helps you crack the bar, and
mm,
provides you with free books, free resources, how to crack a bar and everything like that.
mm,
So you come, you start from day one that, oh, I have to crack the bar, I'm going to take these electives which are important for my bar exams, I
mm,
have to complete my pro bono hours, I have to do that during my summers. You do a great planning, and before cracking the bar you have to submit your application to the New York Bar Council. From Also, New York Bar Council has the power to reject or accept your application. Once you're accepted, you go for an MPRE exam. MPRE exam is an exam which is called as professional responsibility exam, which
mm.
you have to give it before you sit for a bar exam, and you have to pass that.
Okay.
Once you do that and you sit for a bar exam, and you crack it, and before your OPT period begins, you have your New York bar exam, New York license, to practice a good to practice law in US. Now in that, once your OPT period begins, you have 60 days to find a job. Now you totally focus on which firm sponsors you, and
Mm,
then you find a job and you land up into a very good firm. And in March, for example, March, I will take this year, March 2023, your company applies for H1B, and you get picked out in a lottery. That's it. This is how you do it.
okay. So here is the difference though. What I was talking about is, let's say, so that is one option, that you have to
Yeah.
be, let's be honest, to do that, you have to be really, really extraordinary. You're basically given up on life and weekends and stuff like that. You're doing that if you're passing it before the OPT ends, right? The path I was talking about is like, hey, you're taking the 2 year time, like, 1 year of masters and the 1 year of OPT, and the end of it, you're hoping and praying that you're passing that. So
Yeah. I
how
mean,
does that work? Like, so,
so let's take this as
uh,
a second scenario. That was the first scenario where
huh,
I said that you utilize your entire
1 year,
nine
9
months
months, yeah.
9 months course time, plus the three months where you're going to do your pro bono
Mm,
work.
mm, mm,
If you're not able to do your bar, you're done with your MPRE, you're done with all the prerequisites of the bar,
mm,
and after that you have to find a job because your OPT period starts. So you find a job as a paralegal or something like that, which is very much
mm,
connected to something which you like, which you will be doing once you pass the bar, or you will practice the bar. Practice the law over here in US. um Now you sit for another round of round of bar exam, and you thank god fully you just do it. But then again, a problem which comes in is the H1B sponsorship. You still have to find a firm which sponsors your visa, and once you're picked up in the lottery, you're done. That's
got
how it
it.
is.
Understood.
Because your there are two OPT periods. One starts in January and March, between January and March. The other starts between the people who graduate during the fall semester.
All semester,
So it
yeah.
starts in July and August. So if you want to actually crack a bar and you want to do it after you are done with your 9 months course, you should choose the fall semester one, because you get a lot of time to prepare and to be mentally prepared for the bar
You get the
exam as
extra
well.
summertime, yeah.
Yep. And to complete your pro bono hours as well.
Got it. And how many hours you need to complete on pro bono? Is there a limit for it?
Yes, I'm not sure about it, but I think it's 40-45 hours. I'm not actually sure about it. You have to like look into the
Mhm.
there are a lot of sites and the college. And even if even you can go to Boston University bar resource help. You just type it on Google, you will find everything. They have listed down everything whatever you need before you sit for the bar exam.
Okay, understood. Okay. All right. So this is really, really great, because I am, the puzzle, the pieces of the puzzle are connecting in my brain, and I'm able to understand what's happening.
Thank God it is connecting.
No, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, even little bit knowledge is better than nothing. And obviously, we are guiding people in the direction. They have to do
Yeah,
their own research. This is not, I'm not a law professor to, educate people here. We're just talking about from your experience and my
yeah.
experience here. Okay. So let's say that's one path to become a lawyer. Now, talk about what you are doing. So you made a decision that you don't want to take bar, right? And you're still practicing law. So you said you did a 9-month degree, and then why did you choose what field you choose? So how did you end up in the field you are, and what are you really doing right now with the law degree you have?
Yeah. So when I was back in 2020, when I was making a choice whether to go practice law in
Mm,
India or to be in a general corporate house.
mm,
So that was the biggest decision which I took in my life, and I wanted to do corporate because I didn't want to go for litigation or do honor or tariq pe tariq. To be very honest, I didn't want to do that. So because I did a lot of internships, but this was something which did not connect with me.
mm,
After that, after in my final year, I did a couple of corporate internships, and I connected with it. And after that, I got placed in an insurance company where I was working as an in-house counsel for them. I wasn't actually practicing a law, but I was practicing a law.
mm,
So I was leading a team of attorneys over there and overviewing everything, whatever happens in a court and
mm,
how they are going to represent my company. This is what I was doing. I
mm,
was just like, have you ever seen a puppet show? So I
mm,
was just like the same. I was the master of those puppets and I used to play it. So that's how corporate works.
mm,
Most of the places. And when I when I came to US, before that only, I made sure that I'm gonna take a course which gives me push towards corporate side only.
mm,
That's why I chose banking and finance because, and also Boston University offers really good subjects
mm,
like mergers and acquisition, private equity funds, hedge funds,
mm.
then consumer financial services, corporation, and all these were the subjects which I generally thought that yes, this is going to help me if I have to pursue my career in corporate. So that's why I chose this masters, like this specialization in masters in law. When I came here, I dedicated myself to only focus on how would I crack a job after these 9 months.
Understood.
And the professional development office in Boston University. Also, I want to make this very clear to all the people because they have reached me out in LinkedIn asking the same question again and again. Does US colleges helps in placements?
Yeah,
No, they will not help you in placements. This is
that's
the
a myth.
reality.
Yeah.
That's a myth. You have to do it on yourself. That's how US works, because they know that the market is very good, and they don't have to bring company to the university to hire you. They know that if you go to the LinkedIn and show their university name with the GPA you have scored and you have been consistent throughout, they know that a company is going to eventually hire you. They know it, but that is your hard work.
Mm,
From reaching to the interview table to finding a job, it's your hard work. Please
right.
understand this also. Like US universities will never like, it's just a very different scenario than Indian university. Indian
Very true.
university invites companies, firms, and all these big fours to come and hire you, but in US they don't.
It
They
doesn't
don't.
work like that.
Max to max, they will give you resources for job fairs which are happening
Mm,
in Boston or any state where you are doing your LLM degree. So they won't. So I got this job through networking slash LinkedIn,
mm,
and I kept on applying. In my last 2 months of my course ending, I just kept on applying and I started getting interview calls. And I got I got an interview call from the bank. They next day they took my phone interview, and after that I got an interview call from their HR that the head wants to talk to you and they want to have a conversation. It was not termed as an interview, which I really liked in US. They did not even say that this is your interview. They
Very true.
The HR just informed me, oh, this is just going to be a conversation between you and the department which you're joining and your team leader.
Okay.
And this is how I came to the bank.
Understood. Okay. So that's very interesting. So 9 months of this thing. So let's say, when did you really start applying for jobs? Like, when, like before graduating. So you came in spring, you said, and you graduated by
Yeah.
December then, right?
No, I when I started in January 2022 and I graduated in January 2023.
Got it.
And yeah, and I started applying from I would say from the beginning of my fall semester. Not beginning, but I would say October,
Okay.
September,
That's not
October,
bad.
November. Yeah.
That's not bad at all. October, November, December to crack that position. That's incredible, because usually, like for us engineers, we start one semester before we graduate. It's same about your case, but usually like 4 to 6 months before, we have to
Yeah.
start putting in that effort, connecting hundreds of application, 900,000, maybe, and
I know.
somebody who's
I
in
know.
computer science, maybe 2,000, 5,000 applications they're sending in to get those interviews. So tell us in your thing. So now you're in Boston, you're graduating in Boston. So you have the Boston metropolitan area, you have the New York City metropolitan area. So which are these the only places you're applying for positions at that point of time when you graduated?
So when I started this degree, I did a lot of research on Boston.
Hmm.
I I I also I also spoke to few of the non-law people who were in Boston and who were from MIT, Harvard, and there were quite a lot of people in, but not specifically from law. I could not find anybody, so I had to
Hmm.
reach out to the people who were from STEM course, and I have to ask them that how is it difficult? Are you going out and looking for something opportunities? There was this one person who really helped me. He was in engineering and he was from Babson College in Boston.
Hmm.
And he told me that, look, Boston is a really nice financial hub, and trust me, you will end up working in Boston.
Hmm.
Boston has really good opportunities. Also, when you are choosing a college, choose the state as well. Like for me, I had 50-50 chances between George Washington University of Law and Boston University of Law. I didn't wanted to go for Washington DC, but I wanted to go for BU because I knew that I knew that Boston had four big fours like KPMG, Deloitte, State, everything that it had. And I knew that after this, I genuinely knew that I'm gonna crack any of these, or like in comparison to any of these,
Hmm.
because that's why I chose Boston.
Got it. Got it. All right. So that's incredible. So you started applying about 3 to 4 months before. And can you
Yeah.
give us a rough estimate of total number of jobs you may have been applied to for over that 4 months? And how many interviews did you get out of that?
So per day, I used to apply 100 jobs. It
Wow.
just seemed like for us as well how difficult it is for an engineering student. I know engineering students and math students, like the STEM courses, they have a massive competition because they are getting 3 years work authorization and we are getting 1 year work authorization. It's a competition over there. I mean, like, we also have a competition, but finding the right job is the thing. So for us, it is like, we have to find firms with sponsor visa, and we have to find financial institutions. Like I did banking and finance as my master's, so I'm talking about financial institutions, institution with sponsors are visa.
Mm.
So I kind of applied 100 jobs every day, and I landed up interviews with uh, 50, 15 of them. Yeah.
Wow.
And I still get them because I applied that time, so I just still get
As
them.
the
So
thing, I always tell people like the work you do, if you do it the right way, like you said, you did it the right way. If you have enough number of applications, even 6 months later, 8 months later, a year, 2 years later, you'll see the ripple effect. Like I still keep getting calls, the positions I applied 3 years ago. Can you imagine that? So it's like,
yeah.
because they see you, they have that resume in their thing, and then whenever they are looking and they are not getting any applications, they'll just go back there, look at it and be like, okay, we want to call this person, because you're not just sitting home, right? You're collecting experience in the
Yep.
industry also. So you're, it's like,
Yeah. I really want to make an addition over here that a lot of people get disheartened with the thing that they did not get an H1B and they have to go back to India.
hmm,
But to be honest, I'll give my example. If tomorrow, if I don't get an H1B visa sponsorship, I am happy to go back to India, because I'll tell you honestly, these 2 years experience and whatever I have collected from this country is going to be there in my resume
very
always.
true, very true.
This is something which nobody can take me off. So
Agreed.
understand, if you are studying in US and you are getting an LLM degree and you have a 1 year work experience, even if you go back to India, your worth is still high. It's going to be still high. So just don't be disheartened if you don't get an H1B. It's a very less time, 1 year time. Even if you don't get, it's okay. It should not decide how your career
Very true.
goes in the straight
At the
path.
end of the day, like, so the way I look at it, you never do a degree which you cannot make the money back in the given amount of OPT. So if it's a year course and you have 1 year of OPT, you don't want to do it if it's $100,000 course and then you're not
Yeah,
able to make it back, because that's where, we do mistakes, because you're hoping and praying that something works out for you. So for engineering also, you don't want to do $100,000 degree, you don't want to, which you are not able to make it back in 3 years
yeah,
of, like,
yeah.
uh, STEM. So, just talking a little bit more on that. So how much was the cost of total masters? And also, can you tell us like a rough estimate of, like, let's say somebody does that 9-month degree, what kind of income they should expect graduating out of college?
So okay. So do you want a picture of with scholarship or without scholarship you
No,
should
just
be?
tell me, like, somebody who's not as smart as you, they just like
No,
randomly
it's
talk
not
about
like
me. I didn't had any scholarships coming into America. I paid entirely every single penny out of my pocket to America. So let's say I come tomorrow and I'm looking at Boston University. How much is the cost for that 9-month program right now?
so for 9 months program right now it is $75,000,
Okay, all right.
which includes everything: your on-campus stay, your fooding plans, which you generally don't take. Like an Indian student
Mhm.
does not take them, but a lot of people from Saudi Arab and everybody they take it. That's why I'm including everything. Books, they
Got
include
it.
books in this tuition fee. Books are pretty expensive. Law books are very expensive. But if you're smart like me, then you just buy an iPad and just go to the library and scan all the books which are there and just get it in your iPad and just start marking it. So that's an easy version of doing it. And it includes your housing and finance, as I said.
By the way, that is a
And
copyright infringement.
but no, for law books, for law students, it is not. For law
Really?
students, it
That's
is not. Yeah.
awesome. Wow.
So
It's in engineering, you can take pictures, there's a limit on that, but you cannot share that. If you share that, as soon as you share it, it's done, like,
yeah.
it's
So
it's
it's
very
not in
interesting.
the law school because one book in law school cost $500 to $1,000.
Wow.
So everybody cannot afford it, and
Mm.
everybody is coming from a very hardworking family. Even Americans, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
the Americans
So
also can't afford 500 or
it's
three
just
hundred
loans, yeah.
dollars.
For them, it's just
Yeah,
loans.
it just all loans. So they even don't want to do that. So that's why law schools have come up with this facility of scanning the books. You
That's
can go
good.
to the library. You can go to the library, show your college ID that you're from the law school. It's only allowed for the law school. It's not
Mm.
allowed for any other college library. So you go to the law school library, you show your BU ID or slash any school ID, and they will take you to the scanner room. You have the books, all the course books in the racks. You take out which book you want and you start scanning and email to your college email ID. That's it.
Perfect.
Simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, all right. So let's say it's $75,000. I'm gonna take,
Yeah.
because it's a 9-month course, I'm gonna take $25,000 off, because usually like 20 to 25 they add that extra money. So about $50,000, $60,000 you should be able to finish your
Yeah.
this degree. And you need an
Yeah.
undergrad law degree from India. You can't have a bachelor's in civil engineering and do law, right? Or can you do
No, no, I don't think so. You can do that. But for that, if you're not from a law background, if for example you are a civil engineer and if you want to pursue law, there are many universities, like I'll tell you, University of Cincinnati, even Boston University, Ohio University,
Wayne
there
State.
are
Yeah.
Queen State University. They have certificate courses which last up to 9 months
Hmm.
or 6 months, and they provide those are pretty cheap. They are pretty cheap, like I think $20,000 or 25. I don't have a clue about it, but it's 20,000 to
Yeah.
25,000. Yeah, it's for those courses are specifically made for people who want to get an overview of how a law system works in United States. So if
Hmm.
you are a person completely like Omkar, so you can just go and do that certificate course. Yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
That's what I love about America is, even though if I have a civil degree, for example, today if I decide, even though I just turned 25 about 5 years ago, and so even at my age, you can still become a doctor. You
Oh
can still
yes,
today
absolutely,
you can still pursue
absolutely. I
law.
mean,
That's the advantage. That's what I love about America. It's a free
America.
country. It's a free
Yeah,
country. There's no
I
age
know.
restrictions. I love that because I looked into it. I wanted to pursue construction law. And I was like, oh, like even though I graduated about 7 8 years ago with an undergrad, and then I did a master's, it doesn't stop me from going there. Today, if I
Yeah,
decide, hey, I want to do 3 year, a JD program, 3 year program, masters, and then go for that, I can still do that, right? So a 3 year program and then sit for bar and all these things, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
another question I had is, I know a lot of people give LSAT. What is LSAT for?
So LSAT has been revoked now. So you
Oh,
don't
nice. It's just
give
like
that exam
SAT.
anymore.
So you
Yeah,
don't have
it
to do
was.
it.
Yeah, it was before COVID, but after
Hmm.
COVID they removed it. I came without LSAT, so I just gave
Awesome.
IELTS. A lot of people call. You can give IELTS, GMAT, GRE, whatever is helpful to you. You have to give IELTS. You have to give your transcripts from your undergrad, two letter of recommendation or three letter of recommendation, your SOP, your resume, and you're all set.
Okay, good. All right, so that's very interesting. Trisha, I want to jump on to the income. So let's say, I did this 9 year degree from Boston University. I'm applying. Let's say I get a job in Boston or New York City. How much should I expect? Like, I'm sitting in the call.
So
How much should I ask for?
So initially, so see, I'll be very honest with you. Initially, even in India, if you start working after your bachelor's degree, you expect a little low package. It is
Mm,
same here in US as well, because firstly, you are an immigrant and they want to build a trust with you. So
mm,
I like that process over here. So if you have done your master's over here, the salary which you can expect between 75,000 to 80,000 initially, and
mm.
after tax it would be coming around to 60 to 65,000. Depends upon which state you are going, because taxes varies. I'm telling about Boston.
Okay, all right. So let's say, you get a $75,000 package. Now, I know lawyers make significant amount of more income, isn't it? So now let's say, Trisha, I do what you did. What does the future look? Let's say, we take that H1B out of the way. Fortunately, you got that H1B. Now, what does my life look like 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, and 10 years down the road? Like, do I have to do other certification courses and stuff like that? Or do I just keep building experience like a normal employee and just expect raises along the way? How does that work?
The second option, which you said.
Hmm.
So you don't have to do any other certification for
Good, good.
corporate law, because I'll tell you, corporate law is something which you can learn from a lot of people. So
Hmm.
this is like you just did a base degree, which is masters in law. That's it. If, for example, somebody want to become an anti-money laundering specialist,
Hmm.
for example, if you want to become an anti-money laundering specialist, you go for that particular certification exam.
Hmm.
That's it. That's just a preparation of 2 months.
Hmm.
If you want to have specialization, like for example, for example, for me, I am working in a bank as a commercial document specialist. Now what I do is I look over different kind of loans. So for example, a customer is coming asking for a loan. The loan behind the scene goes through a lot of ups and downs.
Hmm.
It goes through a financial analysis, from what happens if the customer is not able to pay us back in 30 years or 35 years, what are the recourses of that loan, what is everything. We study everything,
Hmm.
and then after doing that analysis, we prepare documents for the customer. For example, for example, the main documents can be a loan agreement, a promissory note, which sets out to the customer that you have to pay us monthly in this format, in this way, at this interest rate. These are the things which I do specifically. Now, there can be different kind of loan. There can be loans which involve a vehicle. It can involve a construction loan that somebody, a big investor, wants to invest in a piece of land. So this is how it goes. Like, I will keep on building this now. For example, now
Gain
since my
experience and expertise in
yeah,
that field.
yeah, yeah. For example, if I take one piece of my work, like construction law slash real estate loans, if I start building on that, in the path of 2 to 3 years, I might become a portfolio manager.
Hmm.
So this is how you build up. This is how you work for that one particular thing. Like,
Understood.
for example, my team leader, who has 20 to 25 years of experience, she started as a actually, she started as a do you know people who opens checking account
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and when you go to the
Teller.
bank? So
Yeah.
she started as a teller, and now she looks over profiles of huge loans, like which are asset based loans, stock based loans, and
Hmm.
that's the progress. This is how you build up.
Understood. That's really nice. Like, how do you scale yourself as an individual?
Yeah,
How do you scale your own career? That's really nice to learn. It's just like any other thing. If you really see, you are yourself working today, but you have 20 years experienced manager who is managing maybe 50 people. You're doing the same thing in law as well. You're
yeah.
managing more people, more business, more this thing as time goes. So that's really great. Can you tell us, Trisha, like, what income should I be looking at as a 5-year experienced, law, what you're doing right now, for example? Let's say if somebody who has 5 years experience, what compensation should they expect?
So, see, I would say this is a really good question. So, a lot of undergrad students from India, they text me in LinkedIn that we just graduated and we want to come to US.
Hmm.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Get some
Build your
experience.
experience in India. Build your experience in India, because that is what is going to pay you off.
Hmm.
Um, so when I was in my interview, initially they were paying me low, but you know what, when I spoke to them, I told them my experience and what I'm getting to them on their plate.
Hmm.
um, they increased my salary, and I was really impressed. I was really impressed with that. So you have to convince them. If you are coming with zero experience, just expect that you're not going to get much,
Very true.
because that's what I tell a lot of people, that build your experience in India and
Another
then come to US.
advantage of, I hear you, and I agree with that. Another advantage of working in India is, you see, there are these videos, YouTubers, Instagrammers, they're notorious for
Yeah,
coming with videos like purchasing power parity and listening. And it's so BS when I hear those, because they only talk about finance. You don't talk about lifestyle. You don't talk about, quality of life. You don't talk
no,
about traffic. You don't talk about how crowded it is, at
no,
a restaurant, if you're in India, or, the differences between things. So here's the reason I would say why it's really important to work in India. When you work in India for, let's say, a year or two, you understand the working system, you understand the corporate India. And now
yeah,
when you come to US and you work here for a year or two, now you can compare apples to apples. You don't have this dream
yeah,
which people are selling it to you on online, because anybody can say anything. You're like, oh, India is having amazing opportunities, really good, you can make this and that. And which is true, which is really true, but depends on where you are at in life.
correct.
So you have to make a decision for yourself with your own experiences. And so that gives you really good thing, because you're not like, let's say if things are going bad in US, you're not like, oh, India is really nice and stuff like that, and you end up going back and you're like, oh shit, I did not know this is so bad. And then they work there for another year or two, and then they want to come back.
Yes,
And that's what I'm dealing with right now. A lot of people, what happened a few years back in pandemic, they went back to India. They were like, we want to go back to home, it's much better there, because people were selling all these dreams to them and they fell for it. And now they're like, hey, I want to come back to US, I want to do another degree. you know it's really, really hard to come back if you go.
It just becomes a loop. It just becomes a loop.
Yeah,
What you have
it's a
started,
difficult.
complete it.
Yeah. So,
That's what the reality is. I mean, like, people, I have my friends who came to US with an intention from the day one that they want to crack the bar, and they're still working hard. They're really working hard, and I really wish that they crack the bar.
mm,
But I've also seen people, not basically from India, but my batchmates who did not crack the bar, but they were very smart enough to not to choose LLM in general law, but to choose LLM in some specialization. For example, taxation,
mm,
slash banking and finance, slash IP laws, slash antitrust laws, and doing these specialization. Because what happens is, one of my friend, I will give you an example. She was in my batch and she was preparing for bar exam.
mm,
But once her OPT period started, she started working in Morgan Stanley.
mm.
And once she started working in Morgan Stanley, she kept on dedicating herself for the bar. But I think this was her second try. She could not get the bar exam. And now she is still working with Morgan Stanley, and that's what she's thankful for.
Yeah,
Because
that's the thing. You see, you see, when you have a plan A really good, it's okay to waste time on a plan B because it's a plan B. And not only that, even if you fail, let's say you do bar 5 times and you fail, you have the satisfaction of like, hey, I gave everything I got. But you don't end up hurting because you have a job, it's paying your bills,
yeah,
it's relaxed, life is not that bad, but it's just you're ambitious enough, you want to pursue more, hey, go for it,
yeah,
there are unlimited opportunities here. I
yep,
know we are
yep,
coming up to an hour here, Trisha.
yeah. No worries. I'm okay with anything.
No, that's fine. I like to keep my podcast less than an hour because people lose, I don't
Yeah.
want them to sleep on me. So here's the thing, I want to
No, it's
summarize this. I want
interesting.
to summarize it. I want to wrap this. I
Yeah.
want to ask you, okay, we talked about, some of the mistakes people do while coming to US, and you told me about that. Can you quickly summarize what they should do and shouldn't do in less than 2 minutes so we can, just give them that good
So the
information
first,
before we
yeah,
go?
so the first mistake which people do is while choosing the semester, you
Mm,
have to be very clear. If you want to give a bar, choose the fall semester. If you don't want to give a bar, please
you
choose
can come in.
another semester. You can come in spring semester as well. Second thing, please do not come without an experience to US, because
Mm,
you never know that after a year of your OPT, if you have to go back to India, you should have some experience. So
very true, very
three, for example, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years experience will look very nice.
good.
And after that, you can apply somewhere else, like any other country other than US. The third mistake, which people usually do, is to like have a good planning thing, because law is a very small course. It's not a STEM course. It's a non-STEM course. You have very limited time, and your timer starts from the day one you join the course.
Mhm.
So if you want to apply for the job, apply for the job. If you don't want to apply for the job, just think about something else. Talk to people what they did. Just don't sit back what you are not doing, and don't just be disheartened that, oh, I did not do this. So just be clear when you are doing this. I think the fourth mistake which commonly people do is they end up joining a company which shows them really good colors, like, oh, we are going to sponsor your visa, we are going to do everything, and you just join our company, and they will show you 401k, they will show you dental insurance, they will show you health insurance, and they will not file for your H1B.
Mm.
So they know that for 1 year, this particular person is going to work for me anyway. So she cannot leave. She, I mean, like, for example, if you are in a job which shows you the colors like this, and by the end they say, oh, we are not going to sponsor your visa, you need to have that backup plan ready, that what you want to do after that.
Very true. And the backup plan is you connect with Omkar, so I
Yeah,
you
the
stay.
backup plan is with Omkar, and I mean, truly, this was something which I didn't know, which is called as CPT Day One.
Mm.
Omkar is expert in this. Please contact him. He has a lot of resource in this, and follow his page. He has a lot of experiences. There are people who are sailing in the same boat, and they know what to do. So just don't feel that you are alone in this struggle.
Yeah, and one thing I want to let people know, Trisha, is, if you're considering a law degree, let's say you have like, okay, I'm coming to US, I'm gonna get 1 year degree, and I only have 1 year OPT. you shouldn't be afraid. You should still,
You know.
in my opinion, humble opinion,
Yep.
you can still come to America and go there, because there are options, you know,
Yeah.
even CPT universities which allow you legally to work after that. You can take a project management degree or something related to your field and continue to work for two,
Yeah.
3 years after graduation,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
during your master course, on CPT. So that gives two more chances for you to go for
Yep.
H1. So this
Exactly.
is the biggest
Exactly.
advantage. And I want to encourage people that, hey, if you ever feel like you need to go back home, just connect with me and I'm more than happy to help you, like I always tell.
And
Yeah.
even there are people who have done their LLM. Like, I know one of my batchmates, he was a fall graduate, and I want to conclude this really quickly because this is also an example which people can do. I
Mm.
mean, like, he did his LLM in banking and finance. He worked as a paralegal for one of the firms in local Boston, and he helped them drafting and going to the courts and everything. After that, so he could not crack the bar in the 2 years.
Mm.
He chose to do a JD after that, 3 years
Mm.
JD, and he's totally killing it right now. So he's prepping for it, and I'm really hopeful that in next 3 years, or like in these 3 years. Oh, also, during when you're giving your JD, you can give a bar exam, so
Got it.
that is not a problem. Because the point is that when you're coming from India, you already have a JD equivalent course, a
Mm.
JD equivalent BLLB, and you did LLM, during which you took uh, uh, electives like constitutional law and all the laws which is required for you to sit in the bar. And if you're pursuing a JD during this phase of after OPT, if you don't get the bar and everything, you can still sit for the bar. So that's also an option which is open.
Got it. Okay. Wow. That's incredible. I think I'm gonna become a lawyer now, so because I think I know most of the things what we need to do, though it sounds simple, it's not that simple. You have to put in the work, obviously. And
Yeah.
last question for you, Trisha, before we go. I'm gonna post your details in the description, but where can people reach out to you?
The most easy way to reach me out is my LinkedIn. You can find me easily on my LinkedIn account.
I'll
It is
post your
Trisha
LinkedIn
Mukherjee.
links in
Yeah,
the this thing. Okay, that's
sure.
awesome.
The most easy is the LinkedIn.